To the next lesson, guys. So as you can see, I am barefaced. I have got no makeup on, which means it's time for a makeup tutorial. So I'm going to show you today how quick and easy it is to do a full face of mineral makeup application. I'm going to be using my range Bomonde, which is a toxic, cruelty-free, vegan and refillable makeup line. And I want to re-educate you on how easy it is to use mineral-based products. A lot of people get scared when they convert to minerals because predominantly a lot of mineral-based products that are completely talc-free, sulfate-free and toxin-free are normally powders. So people think, well, powders are drying. A powder dries out the skin, a liquid hydrates the skin, which is so not the case because it's not the actual form it comes in, whether it's drying or not, it's the ingredients in there. So you can have a really nice, wet, silky, luscious liquid foundation or concealer, but if this has got loads of parabens and sulfates and bulking agents in there, this is going to dry out your skin. Where a powder base, which has got the right ingredients in, the natural extracts, the minerals, this can actually hydrate the skin. So I'm going to show you how easy it is to use. Minerals are easy to use. This is not going to be one of those videos where I'm going to teach you how to layer and contour. This is for the everyday woman that wants a quick makeup application. So perfect timing, my foundation has actually run out, okay? So this is my foundation pot. And what you do with Bomonde, you can remove the plastic sifter at the top, and you then go on to your refills, which come like this. And the reason why this is obviously amazing is because, one, you save money because you've already got your gorgeous wooden pot, and you get more grams in this. So you save money and you're saving the planet. So then this powder just simply goes in. Okay, now when it comes to choosing a foundation shade, that is difficult. So what you can do with that is you can normally order samples. A lot of things is online now, so to actually get the right shade is extremely difficult. But at Bomonde, what we do is we actually have little sample packs where you get a couple of sachets. You can either go for the light, the medium, or the medium to dark, and you get a couple of sachets so you can test out the right foundation for you. Okay, so here we have my foundation is now filled. So what we're going to do, we're going to start with correcting. Now I always correct certain areas. I don't like my eyes. I do have quite dark set eyes, something that I have always had. So I always feel that I need to do a little bit of work on here. And correctors, normally you have the main two correctors. You have a yellow corrector, which is for darkness, bluey purpley tones, which obviously would work around the eyes. Then you have a green corrector, which is predominantly for redness. So if anybody is suffering with rosacea, or they have a few breakouts and they need just to do a correction, they would apply this first. Now, I don't tend to get breakouts. I'm not prone to breakouts. Obviously, I've got a very good skincare routine, but it's my eyes. So this is your yellow corrector. So how we apply this is we put a little bit of the product into the lid, and then what we do is we use a brush similar to this. This is like an eyeshadow brush. It's quite a dense formation of bristles, and what we would then do is we would then apply this just to the dark area. Okay, now you don't need to overdo this. If you overdo this and you go too wide outside of this line, it's going to look like you've got jaundice. So this only needs to be dabbed on where you have got the bluey tones. So this is what I do. I don't do this every day. If I'm doing an everyday bombing the kids out to school, then it would just be the foundation I would go straight in with. But if I'm doing a little bit more of a coverage, I'm going out for the day, catching a coffee with the friends, or working, creating content, then I would always do my corrector. So you can go above the lid, on the inner corners here, as you can see. And you'll be probably looking at this now thinking, wow, that looks yellow. It does, but this is how correctors work. They bounce back that light. So you have to have the area looking slightly yellow. This is why we don't want to be going on to any area that doesn't need it. So you could then go in with a concealer. You could go in with a light concealer or a medium concealer. When selecting a concealer, you always need to go a shade lighter than your tone, okay? Your foundation is going to go over this, and you can even use your foundation as a concealer, but I'm going to show you obviously using this concealer today. So this is the light concealer that I use, and I would then go over the whole of this area. And with this, you can then now start to take it further out, because this is obviously skin tone, okay? This is not a corrector, this is not yellowy, so we can actually start to work further out. Now, if I'm being honest, a concealer for me is the first thing when I'm wanting a quick routine. I leave that, completely leave that, because I prefer to use my foundation to conceal, okay? But there is that option if you feel you want more of a coverage. So now we have our foundation. My shade is normally Page, however, I'm feeling quite pale at the moment. Summer's long gone now. I had a summer holiday at the beginning of the 6 weeks holidays, so I feel like my skin is looking quite pale, so I've gone down my shade, okay? So how you would use this is you would put your product into your lid, and this is also how you would test your samples as well. You'd get a product lid and you would put your sachet into a lid as well and use from there. And then you would use this brush. So this is me concealing. So obviously I would go around my area that I don't like. As I've explained, it is my eyes, the darkness around my eyes, and I will show you this closer up once I've completed, okay? Again, concealing around the eye area, okay? And the beauty of minerals is you can just whack it on. It is not hard to use. It is not hard to use at all. When you are using a mineral foundation, it is essential that you are using a Kabuki brush, okay? You will not get a good application if you are not using a Kabuki brush. Now, this I've had for about 2 years. Once you buy a good one, you'll have it for a long, long time. If you're looking at a Kabuki brush and you've seen one for £5, £6 English, then it won't work and it won't hold the bristle. It won't hold the powder in the bristles to get a good application. So you need to be spending anything from £20 upwards to get a good Kabuki brush, okay? So the powder is all in the lid. Obviously I've used some of that to conceal. Then you get your Kabuki brush, and what you are doing is you are putting this into your lid and you are really loading that up, okay? Be really firm, okay? You will get a few little bits of powder that you know, drift away slightly, but the idea is that when you lift that brush up, your lid's pretty much empty and it is all packed within the bristles here, okay? A cheap Kabuki brush would just fly it all over. So this now is what you would then use to go over the whole area, okay? Now, for those that want a stronger coverage, okay, so they feel that they need a little bit more, you can just reapply, okay? Minerals can be layered up. I in the past have done so many dance shows and performances where I need more of an evening look, so I need a bigger, stronger coverage, and you can just keep layering. But because you are using toxin-free ingredients, it won't clog your pores, it won't feel like it's caked up and your skin can still breathe. So just for the sake of the video, I'm just going to do another application for you. And you whiz it all over. You can be so sloppy with it, you know? So that is my base. Now, obviously I need a little bit of colour, okay? I need a little bit of bronze, need a little bit of blush, but that is my base. Now, to seal in your foundation, you've got one or two ways to go. Using a finishing powder will enable the foundation to last longer, and it also gives another added purpose. So if you have got slightly oily skin, or you are in that stage of menopause where your skin becomes quite wet throughout the day and you feel like your makeup just slides off, then you obviously need to be seeking something that's mattifying, okay? If it is just a slightly oily T-zone, you get the occasional breakouts, then you wouldn't need a mattifier. But somebody who is prone to oily breakouts daily or quite a lot would choose a mattifier. If you haven't got that and you have just got quite normal skin, or your skin's slightly dehydrated, or you like a nice silky sheeny finish, then you would go for something like the Glow, which is like more of a silk finishing powder, and this will seal in that foundation and give you that slight glow or mattifying depending. Now, I don't have oily skin, never had oily skin, so this here is actually translucent, so there's no colour to it, and same with the mattifier, but sealing that in will give that soft sheen all over and enable your makeup to last all day. Now, when we go into the last lesson, I'm going to give you some little bonus tips on problematic skin and how you can actually make the minerals be a lot more versatile. So this is just the basic application. So that now is my base. I can always seal later with a translucent over the whole of the makeup once I've done it, but that is my basic base done. I would then go in with a bronzer to give myself a little bit of colour all over. So I don't like a really heavy bronze look, but I do like to look like I've got a little bit of colour. So I've actually put far too much in there. You can see here, can you see? Far too much. So let me just take some of that out. And I would use a big chunky brush, and I would then, with this one, because it is a lighter one, this is called Bronze Breeze, I would take this over the whole of the skin, okay? Because I have something, my favourite product, what I put on my cheeks, which I'm going to show you that at the end. Okay, so now, as you can see, I'm going to zoom into the camera a little bit so you can see the coverage. Now I've just got my base on and my bronze. That is the coverage it has given me from a light powder mineral based foundation. So it's amazing the kind of coverage that you can get. So what I do love to do, okay, I love a little bit of glow on my cheeks, so I love a little bit of highlighter. I do like this product. It is not a highlighter, okay, it's an eyeshadow, but this is my go-to, and as you can see, it is my go-to because I've hammered it, okay, and it is a cheat. It is a cheat. So all I do is I put my finger in this rose gold and I just whack that on my cheeks. You can see it looks quite heavy at the moment. Can you see here? Like a little army stripe. But I love this just on my cheekbones. Now you can opt for a blusher, but I do love that highlighter look, and it just hits that cheekbone. Oh, put a bit too much on there. And this shows how versatile it can be, because that is an eyeshadow. It's a gorgeous rose gold eyeshadow, but it can be used for a multitude of things. I'm just going to put a little bit, just so you can see, a little bit of blusher. This is the Beryl Berry blusher, okay? I'm just going to put a little bit of that so that hits my cheeks and works with that highlighter as well. And what's so nice, which you'll know this when you use toxin-free products and when you use Bomonde, I don't feel like I've got anything on. My skin feels so silky, and you've seen how many, you know, I've done the corrector, the concealer, the foundation, the sealer on top, the highlighter, the blusher, the bronzer, and it doesn't feel caked up. I feel like my skin can breathe, and I've got this really natural coverage. You can still see my skin tone, you can still see a few imperfections, but because it's so easy, there's many times when I'm getting the kids ready for school, they're on the way downstairs, I'm thinking, ready to get the shoes on to go, and I'm like, wow, I've not put anything on, and I'm doing this without even a mirror. walking downstairs, you know, putting this on my cheeks just as I leave the house. So it is not a hard makeup to do, okay? So what we're going to do now, I'm going to go on to the eyes, okay? Now, the Bomonde palettes come in duo, and as you can imagine, this is obviously one of the best sellers. Everybody needs this staple product in their makeup bag. Obviously, choice of brushes. You do get a brush in here, but these brushes are better. So with this, all you would do is put your beige all over the lid. And then what we would do is we'd go in with a brown. Go in with the brown, and the best way to apply the brown, I like a softer brush. This is like a day look that I'm doing for you, okay? The best way to apply the brown is by starting at the side here and putting it into the socket, okay? So as you can see here, I'm pushing it into the socket line. So I'm not fully going onto the lid, I am getting right in that socket. And as you can see, I'm being I'm not being really precise with it because we can blend it, okay? And because this is a everyday soft makeup application, we're using very natural tones, we can do this. Same on the other side. So into that socket area. Okay. And then what we can do, blow off the excess, and then we can go over with the beige very lightly around the edges, just to blend that look in. And there you go, you can see now, it's given me that slight lift here, it's opened the eyes up slightly, and it's not overly done. Okay, so now, my eyebrows are pretty good, so I don't normally put anything on my eyebrows, but for the sake of this video, I want to show you how easy it is to do your eyebrows with a powder palette, and also your eyeliner with a powder palette. So these brushes here, the angled brush, are an absolute godsend. These are amazing for applying an eyeliner and doing your brows. Now with eyeliner, I will say a lot of people are like, no, I need my liquid, I want my nice flick, or they like that soft powder. Now using a powder palette, it doesn't jump over these fine lines. So people that want a soft eyeliner and they're stretching the skin and using a pencil, it can jump over these fine lines, and then you relax the lid and this line is then looking like this, okay? Same with a liquid. But because if you use a wet brush and apply with a wet brush, it just glides so effortlessly, and it will stay in place. It will stay in place. So first things I'm going to do is my eyebrows. Like I said, I don't normally do much, so I'm going to apply this really lightly. So using an angled brush, and this is a brow palette here from Bomonde, and these are all refillable, by the way, so when you finish your brow palette, you can then just get your replacement. And all I'm going to do, so you can tell I don't normally do these because they're now looking a little bit heavy for me. Now the wetter the brush, the darker the look, okay? So if you're wanting a really soft application, then you would have your brush a lot drier, okay? So we just whiz that over very gently through the brows that we've got and just create a little bit of densification. Then we just go in with the other brow. And do the same. I am blessed, I have got good eyebrows, but I have also had a soft shaded permanent makeup as well. So I have got good brows underneath my eyebrows. So we're going to get into the eyeliner, my favourite bit, because this will completely change the way you look at eyeliners. Now these are my brushes, I will add. So in terms of hygiene, I will be using this wet, and if you get one of these brushes and you've got them at home, you can also use it wet by licking the brush as well. Yes, I do keep my brushes clean, I do, but obviously as I'm applying my eyeliner, you know, I would just lick the brush and apply it that way. So here is my eyeliner palette. Okay, I would wet my brush. I'm being real, this is what I would do at home, okay? And this is only my makeup that I would be using on myself. Put a tiny bit just on the end. And then what you would do is you would stretch this eye here. And you would whiz across. The easiest eyeliner application you will ever use, okay? And that is it. Now if you don't like it as crisp as that and you want to blend it, then you just go in with a little brush, like a flat brush, and you just soften the edge. Just soften that edge, which looks absolutely gorgeous actually. So you can see a more softened edge on the eyeliner, okay? We'll do this one here, stretch here. And whiz over. Now everybody does say with this eyeliner, because obviously it goes on a powder and dries, they say it just stays in place all day. It doesn't budge. But I like this soft look here. So I'm just going to stretch this here and just give it a little rub just on that edge, just to soften it out. Okay? So now, mascara, finishing touches. Now this mascara is for the most sensitive of eyes, okay? When Bomonde launched, it launched without a mascara. I couldn't find the right one. I wanted to get the separation of the lashes. This is why it's the kind of like the peanut shape. But then I found the ones that was suitable for certain skins and wasn't causing irritation, didn't have the right wand, and vice versa. It took me a while, but this is really good in humidity. It's good on holiday. I've had many people that have taken it away and it's been so humid and it's stayed in place. So it isn't going to give you, it's going to separate the lashes and lengthen them slightly, but it is not one of those mascaras that is going to make you look like you've got false lashes. And the reason being, because to be able to do that, it's got to be filled with a lot of ingredients that are quite delicate for the eye area, okay? And this is all about clean beauty. It's all about clean beauty, using products that are good for our skin, looking after our skin, looking after our lashes, but creating a really nice look as we go. Now, I think that I'm doing extremely well talking while applying mascara, because normally we have the mascara face. That'll happen on the bottom, you watch. Can we see? Everyone has a mascara face. Why is it we can't talk or keep our mouth closed? It's impossible. There we go. So that is a little bit more than what I would do as an everyday look. Let's finish with the lips. Let's finish with the lips. Now this is a liquid lipstick. Very popular. They give that glossy look but without the stickiness of a gloss, and they're very quick and easy to use as well, okay? They won't last as long as a lipstick, so a lipstick will always last longer than a liquid lipstick. However, you won't get that, that gloss look. But this has to be one of the firm favourites because it is a gorgeous everyday look. Once it fades, it just gives that gorgeous little lip tint. And this is called Scarlett O'Hara. And there we go. As you can see, my hair needs doing, but the makeup is looking on point. So this is a everyday application of using something in every area, okay? You can use as little or as much as you want. You know, you could just whack on that foundation, whack on the sealer, bit of mascara, lip gloss and go, okay? And that is what I do most of the time. You know, my main products are my base, my finisher, I put a little bit here on my cheeks, mascara, and I'm done. I don't even bother with a lipstick or a lip gloss. But I just want to show you how easy it is. Mineral makeup, powder form makeup that is good for your skin is so easy to use. So I hope you enjoyed the video.